my friends. Welcome back to the reading of the Medium's book, a book written by Allan, Kardec, and the spirits. And today we are going to talk about what happened. What happened actually at the Rue de Noyers in Paris in that time, 1860, around that period. And for that, I collected the what was written at the Spirit magazine, or you can say Spiritist magazine. And then they say the following: the Noyers Street Rag Dealer, Spiritist magazine, August 1860. That was written, this article was written at the Spiritist Society in June 1860, under the title Scenes of Witchcraft in the 19th Century. The Droit narrates the following fact. A fact, one of the strangest, is taking place right now at the Rue de Noyers, and Mr. Lesage, a steward of the Palace of Justice, occupies an apartment on this street. For some time, projectiles which come from nowhere break its window panes and, penetrating its accommodation, reach those who are there in order to injure them more or less seriously. They are quite considerable fragments of firewood, semi-carbonized, very heavy pieces of earth coal, and even charcoal called Paris. Their maid received it on the chest, and that resulted in severe bruises. The victim of these spells ended up asking for the assistance of the police. The agents were placed under surveillance, but it was not long before they themselves were hit by the invisible artillery, and it was impossible for them to know where these blows were coming from, the existence becoming unbearable for him in a house where it would be necessary to be always alert. Mr. Lesage requested from the owner the termination of his lease. This request was granted, and to draft the act came Mrs. Valiant Beadle, whose name fit perfectly in a circumstance where the warrants could not be carried out without danger. In fact, only the ministerial officer took action to write his act. A huge piece of coal, thrown with extreme force, entered the window and hit the wall, crumbling to dust. Without being disconcerted, Mrs. Valiant used this powder like another Junot made from the earth raised by a bomb to spread it over the page he has just written. In 1847, at the Rue de Grès, an analogous event took place, which we were aware of. Mr. L, and then they don't put the name of the person, they just call it Mr. L, a coal merchant, was also was also a target for fantastic arrows, and these incomprehensible stone emissions made the entire block move. Parallel to the house inhabited by the coal dealer was a vacant lot, in the middle of which was the former church at the Rue de Grès, now a school of the Brothers of Christian Doctrine. At first it was assumed that this was where the projectiles came from, but soon that was given up. That when you were lurking on one side, the stones came from the other. In the end, however, the magician was caught in flagrant delicto, who was none other than Mr. L himself. He had resorted to this phantasmagoria because he was dissatisfied with his house and wanted to get his lease to be rescinded. The same did not happen to Mr. Lesage, whose honorably excludes any idea of cunning, and who, moreover, in content in his apartment, which leaves nothing but regrets. It is hoped that the inquiry conducted by Mr. Hubault, the commissioner of the Sorbonne quarter, clarify this mystery, which perhaps is nothing but a bad joke, infinitely prolonged. Well, and then we now understand better the conversation that is taking place at the Medium's book. So that's why I wanted to make this special episode for you to be in context with the events. Well, this is for today, my friends. On the next episode, I'm going to continue with the questionnaire. I leave with a big kiss. God bless you all. See you next time. Bye bye.